All right. All right, sir. So we already talked. You know the outline. I'll start us off. You'll take over once that's done. Then I will talk about your grades with your mom, your iReady data, and then send her home and send you to class. Have a plan? All right. Turn this off. Okay. Well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming to our spring conferences. I'm Mr. Coleman, as you already know this. I am his advisory teacher and his algebra teacher. And I want to first start by saying it is just such a pleasure and such an honor teaching your son this year. I'm excited to see what comes next for him. And on that note, sir, it is your conference takeover.
Okay, so this is my daily reading notebook, and this is where we do all our work basically in reading, and recently we've been tracking figure of language in the Poet X, which is a book made completely out of poems, and we're about halfway through it, I think. And it's about to be the end of our poetry unit. So we just got to practice finding poetic devices in the book, and we just wrote them down here. And in ELA writing, we're using those same poetic devices that we learned there and using them to write poems in here, and we just write poems using the different figure of language that we learned in there and that Messiah taught us. And then,
can I see one of your poems?
Okay.
You should read it. I remember when you wrote one when you were littler. It was, I wonder, I'm curious.
Here's my rhyme poem. Ah, the glorious duck, the beautiful feathers, so smart they could drive a truck. No other bird is better. Unlike buffoons, ducks do not cluck. Ducks fill my heart, I cannot comprehend how those necks bend. I love ducks so much, this is even the start. In my old age, to ducks I will tend, playing the newest Mario Kart.
Huh? I knew it. I remember. I told you were a great writer.
Okay.
He's like, okay.
That was really good, by the way.
So here's my algebra project, our water park project that we did last month, I think. And we just used different equations to design a water park, and use different linear relationships to describe them, and graph them, and using linear relationships in real world situations. With the red lines,
this is what you were saying, how much you love learning math in the real world. Okay.
So each of the yellow points are midpoints and intersection points. No, the red points are the red midpoints and the yellow are intersection points, and we just had to use equations to find those. And yeah, and here's my work for some of them.
Show me your water park. Nice.
And then for history, we did a pamphlet mimicking Thomas Paine's Common Sense pamphlet that he made about the American Revolution and why America should get freedom from Britain. I made mine on why rice is the best food, and how.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and how it's used in many different cultures around the world. And in science, this is our science notebook where we just take notes on things, and it's helped me take in information better and help me do better on tests. And yeah, and most recently we've been working on a formation of the universe and solar system, and we're gonna be finishing that today. And then finally, PE. My favorite unit has been volleyball. My favorite units have been volleyball and basketball, because those are some of my favorite sports, and yeah, it's just been fun playing them.
Cool.
That's it. Oh, and my map. And here's the map that we made in history. It was a map of Lewis and Clark's route from St. Louis all the way to the Pacific Ocean, mapping out the Louisiana Territory. And we added a key, a compass rose, and we had to mark out the different territories and find different landmarks throughout.
Nice. So you can tell me better where the states are now.
Definitely. Yeah.
Good job, sir. Do you have any questions for Jalen about any of his classes or anything he showed you before I step in?
No.
All right. Well then, good job, sir. Impressive, and again, right on time. Conferences are hard because of our short time that they give us to do it. So kids have to be on it, and he was always on it. Let's talk about grades. Let's start with his lowest grade, which was an A. That's in PE class, so that is your lowest grade. It's an A. Outside of that, everything else is 100% or better. That's quite impressive. You know, in terms of the student, you already know this. As a student and teachers, we meet weekly and for our meetings and we talk. And you know, and his name doesn't come up often because we talk about, you know, things need to work on with kids. When it comes up, it's just like, oh yeah, Jalen, he's the one. And you know, he presents himself very well on our campus. I know he was new to our school, but you wouldn't know that. If you were to come to our school today, you would think that he's been here for 3 years. That he is truly a member of the Valley Charter community. I think that even teachers on the other campus, when they see him, they think, oh, he's been here. And no, he's not. He's new to our school. But that's just kind of who he is. He embedded himself into our school, made himself a key figure and member of our community, and a very important one. And it's been a real honor and pleasure to watch you in our school really take on your path and take on your role.
He loves it. He loves it here.
Yeah. We got lucky. We got lucky. We're lucky. We're not gonna lie.
We're going to Arizona, and he's like mad that he's skipping school tomorrow.
I love hearing that, and that makes me happy to hear that. Most kids are excited to get on the trip and get out of here, but that makes me happy to hear.
Yeah.
You know, when I look at areas of strength, I mean, I can go on for hours about all his strengths. My class and all his classes, he does everything the right way. Look for areas of growth. You know, I can only speak for algebra for math class, and my area of growth would just be, honestly, you can't always be correct, and that's okay. Like, Jade, and I'll speak to you directly, you're one of my students who I look at who has all this, I call it math potential. Like, when I look at my students, I kind of predict, okay, which ones would be in AP Calculus and this and that as they go into high school. You're one of my AP kids. Like, if you're not in AP Calculus, I'm like, oh, what happened? Like, you're one of the ones who I know will be at the highest level. And so what I want you to remember this for area of growth is that the higher the math gets, it doesn't get harder. It becomes more challenging for the thinking process. And you're not going to be able to comprehend everything immediately. Like, you're supposed to struggle sometimes in math. You're supposed to go home and go, I don't understand this, let me figure it out. But that's where the real growth happens. It's if you get it, and that's not growth, you already got it. It's when you don't get it, you have to go home and rethink about it and figure out what you don't get, and then come back next day and say, okay, I think I got it, and talk to your teacher. That's when you start to grow into that person that goes into college and takes on the highest college classes. That's what's coming next for you. So for you, I'd say your area of growth would be to just understand that you can't always understand everything immediately on the spot. It's okay to not know something right away. Okay.
That's the kind of the challenge of the kids like them who had that kind of minds, you know, and that's been seminars at school where everything comes so easy for them that when it's harder or more challenging for them, they get frustrated.
Yes.
And so that's why I tell them, hey, it's not always going to be easy. It's not, because it's not. Like real life, you'll have struggles. So thank you for emphasizing that.
And he's one of the kids who's ready for that next challenge. And I know you're going to Granada next year, and I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know other schools you guys are looking into. To me, if you can go to the best school and not have to pay for it, that's a win. You're going to the best school, you're not paying for it. Granada is the best school, period. I don't care what anybody tells you. They talk about too big. It's not too big. They say it's too stressful. It's not too stressful. Granada is the best school for you. Granada is going to push you and give you opportunities to grow academically, also as a person, because they have so much to offer you in terms of clubs and activities that you get to find your path. You get to find who you really want to be, I believe, in Granada. And also, I get to keep track of you for a couple more years. That's good for me, too. And so, but yeah, so that's what I got to say about your son. It's been an honor. Do you have any questions for me about his classes or about him at our school or anything like that?
I do know that it's more so like Granada. I think he's following your lead on that, which I'm very grateful for, by the way. Thank you. It's taking forever for them to like get back to us on being enrolled. So last time I called, they said they were in the February month of accepted enrollees.
Okay.
And so we got accepted end of March.
Okay.
So I'm guessing we won't hear until like maybe May or late April because of how backlogged they are, you know?
I mean,